what's going on? Miguel, host of Life on Circle Radio. Thank you for tuning in, and we're gonna get into it today. We just gonna talk about beef. What's beef? Because, Steve Harvey's whole crew. You know, the stuff that's been going around about Steve Harvey potentially dealing with divorce rumors, and he's come out and said some things and basically talked about his wife and how she's been there with him basically from when he was broke. Kings of Comedy, he was like, I was broke. Remember, I thought I had all this money. I was broke. Just lost my TV show, and so we're gonna talk a little bit about that. But what the kicker on that is that Shirley Strawberry, who is a longtime co-host, they've been together doing shows. You know, he's had her for a long time. I know for the last 15 plus years that I know she's been. I've been following Steve and his radio show. So evidently, her husband caught up with some child pornography and some fraud and some stuff, and he's been in jail for the last year. And then I guess she had a conversation with him and talked some mess about Steve, and so that came out, and so that we're gonna talk about that. All right, and then what else? Oh, and then DJ Envy and Tyrese. I guess they was close. Here's the thing, man. I'm really tired of folks. I don't really want to know all y'all business. I swear for goodness, I don't want to know all y'all business, man. Deal with this stuff in the background, because Tyrese and DJ Envy, I guess it was cool, and then I watched that at GME tomorrow. I blocked you on my phone. I'm like, I can't imagine telling another dude I done blocked you on my phone. That's just I don't know. All right, so here we go. All right, super producer.
Child. We just ain't no intro. Let's just get into the first topic. Let's go. Like, that's how I feel right now. Cause we late. I'm in here using my child's Chromebook because my main computer didn't work, and now I'm just frustrated.
Girl, you're gonna be all right. So anyway, yeah, man, this is let's get into it. I know we had our production meeting on Friday. We were like, it's kind of a slow week. Like, it's just normal. Here's something. It was a slow week. It was a slow week. But my what? I ain't even told you what my what is. So my what is gonna be about. I guess some young people think they was dragging me in these internet streets. So we're gonna talk about that's gonna be part of my what. Yeah.
My what is about brick bitch, and I'm using the B word for a reason. The girl get hit with a brick.
Didn't we talk about it last week? What else did I talk? Okay, all right.
Oh, you want to know what else? The fact that they found out she injected her face with the saline. That's what made it swell up.
Okay, all right. Well, where is that story? Because that ain't on our list nowhere.
Let's start with Shirley Strawberry. Let's ease into the beef. Who's got beef?
Man, you know what? Andre Size, hey, yeah, we late. And what's your point?
Sorry.
All right. So anyway, we here now. All right. So anyway, let's get into this thing today. Where you want to start?
I just said Shirley Strawberry.
Oh, I didn't hear that. All right. So, all right, Shirley Strawberry. Let me see. Where is it? I ain't even got that pulled up nowhere. All right. Here's the story. Go ahead and talk about it, and I'll find it.
So this is the most curious case of a downfall I've ever seen in my life. So if you know, Shirley Strawberry is a co-host on the Steve Harvey Morning Show. Like Miguel said in the intro, they've been a partnership for many years, at least 15 years. She met a man through a friend named Ernesto, and he actually proposed to her on the Steve Harvey show. He also owned a pretty lucrative barbershop, or so we thought, called Nesto's in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. She seemed to have gotten her fairy's tale. Then the past year, come to find out, he's a con artist. Like, not he just lied to the IRS like a lot of people do. That's fine. Or he got a PPP loan. He's got hardcore fraud allegations out there about him. And then when they went through his stuff to try to, build a case against him, they did find one case. And just want to be fair, one image of child pornography. Mm-hmm. No one knows how it got there. It's just one singular image. So now either way, he's still in jail. Yeah. Shirley Strawberry, who's a moron, is still with him for some crazy psycho reason.
She said
and is
her divorce proceedings are going, but go ahead.
Then why are you still talking to him on the phone? If we're getting divorced and you're in jail, I have nothing to talk to you. It's not that we got to split assets and we got to talk about the kids. They ain't got no kids together. So why am I on the phone with you being recorded?
Yeah, because she said she's actually 70 years old, which I didn't realize she was that old. But that, Steve is in his late 60s, so that's not as surprising.
But Ernesto's younger than her.
Well, that happens.
I think Ernesto might be 15 years younger than her.
Is that right? I don't know if you're right. But anyway, let's. I want to give a little more backstory to this. So Shirley Strawberry.
Okay, keep going.
For people who watch or listen to the Steve Harvey Morning Show, she's got a segment called the Strawberry Letter, and it's always these insane conversations and relationships and stuff that people are dealing with and all of this, that, and the third, right? And so you watch this stuff and you listen to this stuff and I know here's how I know it's been more than 15 years. I got out of radio business in 2005. It is now 2023. They were together then. So
Mm-hmm.
she's been with him probably 18 to 20 years doing this show with him. So she in the whole Strawberry Letter, and I try to listen to it because I got wind of this story probably mid afternoon today, and then I started to I started to dig into this. They put the whole Strawberry Letter. It was a whole conversation where she was virtually in tears, talking about this situation. Like you said, her husband has been in jail for over a year, and so in one of the jail conversations that they had, she started talking about Steve getting tired going up the stairs. Started talking mess about Shirley. I mean not Shirley, but his wife Marjorie. And supposedly that Marjorie talks about them like they're the help, as in the radio crew.
Are we surprised about that? Of all the things she said, were we surprised about that part?
There,
No. No. And I believe Shirley Strawberry. I believe that Marjorie be talking about them like they're just those over there. Like, they can't fly with us to Paris for Fashion Week or go to New York. I believe Marjorie treats them like nothing. That hey.
To me, that's I won't say that's neither here nor there. It is what it is. If she does say something like that, the problem is that as the story that I think we touched on this a little bit last week, with Steve and his wife and rumors going around in the blogosphere talking about that they have pending divorce and all this and the third. They always keep saying, ain't none of that true. Our relationship is great, this, that, and the third, right? One thing I can say about Steve, I met Steve personally one time, and he was extremely, I was working at Walmart stuff, and I ended up driving him from the airport to this event that we were going to.
I remember this story.
Yeah, and so I'm riding with the guy. I got the guy in the back, and him and his crew, him and his bodyguard, who they talked about before, and he was extremely candid. He was extremely conversational. You would think, like most of us get in an Uber and be like, look at the Uber person, like, man, shut up. I don't want you talking to me. Right,
That's me.
right. Mm-hmm. Steve was in the back. I'm driving, and this was early. GPS had us jacked up a little bit. I'm in New Orleans. I don't know where we going, and the boss I had at the time was wild, and he basically telling that dude to shut up, leave him alone. He drive. So anyway, point being, every time that anybody that I know who knows Steve, and I know people who know Steve, he's the same all the time. He's extremely honest. The dude will break out in tears in a minute because he's very grateful for what has happened to him over the last. Ain't nobody saying Steve Harvey no saint. We all got our flaws. So I tend to believe him if he say him and his wife are cool. I tend to believe it at this point until something else comes out. This stuff with Shirley Strawberry, I believe that too. But the problem I have with this whole situation is like, man, deal with this stuff in private. But it's
here's
hard to deal with this in private because somebody leaked the phone call. But go ahead.
But it wasn't leaked. Here's the thing, guys. When your spouse or partner or homeboy is in prison or jail, all those phone calls are recorded. All it takes for is some half-assed journalist to say, I want to, the Information Act. I want those phone calls. Can I have them, please? And because of the Information Act, the jail can do is go, yep, well, these are recorded. So here you go, random person. You can listen to the phone calls.
That's interesting. That's interesting that you bring it up. And that's why this is interesting to me, because there was a time when those things were put in place because of journalism. You got these bloggers out here now that are just random randos that just want to start crap. And I don't know who wouldn't got this deal. But Lord have mercy, man. We are in a place right now, boy. I'm telling you, you better not do nothing in public you don't want. Nothing on recorded that you don't want to hit the streets eventually, because there's ways to get to almost anything.
And I feel bad for her to an extent. I don't think that she was ever talking about him, bad. I don't think she was purposely trying to talk bad about Steve. I think she was just having normal partner relationship. Like, I'm pretty sure when Tracy go off somewhere with her friends, she make little jokes about you. Doesn't mean she doesn't like you. Right. It's just regular information that you give. I also think Shirley is stupid. One, for staying with this man. And two, you should know that jail phone calls are recorded. And even if this is not being used, say it's not, bloggers don't request it, this could be used in a court of law, which makes it public anyway. Yeah. So you got to be smarter.
Well, at this point, she started off her commentary this morning, or whenever it was. I guess it was this morning, whenever it was. But she was like, I can't, it happened. All I can do is apologize. I can't sit there and make nothing up. I can't say nothing else happened, but I said it. I apologize. She was very contrite and the whole nine. And you just look at this thing and just like, I can't imagine. Like, think about you and I. Like, we've been doing this show almost for as long as they've been doing a show.
Yep.
Right.
That's
And
fact.
so, right. And so to think that something will come out that was said that you said about me or I said about you, and it came and you had to deal with that in public, that would be heartbreaking. And so I can only
Yeah.
imagine what they're dealing with. I see people talk about, oh man, will Shirley Strawberry have a job tomorrow? I think Steve Harvey is cut from the type of cloth that he's gonna deal with that like that's his family and they're gonna move on. I could be wrong, but I doubt it.
But she has to stop. But here's the thing. Also, I noticed because I've listened to a couple of these jail phone calls. She has to stop bringing it to the show because she did another Strawberry letter where she was requesting that the judge release Ernesto, and she made that a Strawberry letter. So, girl, your life is full of drama and garbage, and either get rid of it or get off the show and deal with it. Because right now you trying to mix the two things together, and it's just messy and tacky.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because I don't listen. I haven't listened to terrestrial radio like that in a long time. I mean, for people who don't know what I mean, it's terrestrial radio that we can just get in your car and turn it on the morning shows. But anytime I can always guarantee I can look at my clock in my car and say, okay, it's 7:45. Tommy about to do his prank phone call. I know it's about to happen. The thing about Shirley Strawberry and the other woman that's on there, I forget her name, right? Carla Farrell, they always are just like paint on the wall. They're not. They're good at what they do, as in being a part of that team, right? She should never made herself a part of the story. That's just not her role.
But how can you not, though, in this situation with Ernesto? Like, he proposed to her on the show, which makes him...
You don't talk about this type of stuff on the show. But it's happened now, and that's the one thing that may cause her to lose her gig. Because at that point, when it's all said and done, it's Steve's show. But if the station starts saying this is causing too much drama, what they probably won't. This is all good for ratings and all that type of garbage, living out people's lives. But go ahead and finish up your thought before we wrap up this segment.
My last thought is, Shirley, you too old for this. You are 70 years old with a man in jail. In jail, girl. You should be home enjoying...
What could she do about that? Like, if this dude has some child porn and he was a doggone scam artist, at this point, it's above her now. She just got to live with what's going, right? Okay. I'm listening. Go ahead. No, finish the thought. But what else is she supposed to do?
Divorce him. Enjoy being a grandmother. But it seems weird to me. You're getting divorced, but you're still entertaining jail phone calls where you're joking around with him about your boss who treats you well.
Well, and I think I
still believe that Marjorie Harvey's a bitch. I'm going to stand by that 10 toes down. I feel like she treats everybody like garbage. She thinks she's beautiful. I get it, but still, you're making jokes and trying to make your soon-to-be ex-husband feel comfortable in prison.
Well, and I've only listened to the conversation once, so things like, I want to say Steve said that this is an old phone call. Like, this phone call was recorded last year, and the only reason why it's being leaked now is because of the Steve stuff that's going on with their marriage and he and Marjorie's marriage and all. And so that makes sense. If you're a blogger or a journalist, you're trying to find some dirt to stir this up. Oh, I done ran up on a piece of gold here. His co-star on the show, she got her own drama, and now they're running with it. All right, let's move on. What is that? What else we want to talk about? What do you want to talk about next? You want to move on over to DJ Envy and Tyrese?
No, how far left you want to go? You want to go Al Pacino situation with his whole thing? You want to go? What else we got?
That's gonna be quick. Let's talk about Al Pacino real quick. Al Pacino, Mr. 83 years old, and I guess his baby mama or wife wants. Go ahead, set it up.
You're about to get... that's a story. So if you guys remember, we talked about this about 5 months ago when we found out that Al Pacino's girlfriend, who was 29 years old, her name is Noor Alaf. Their baby is now 3 months old, and now she's filed for primary physical custody of their baby. And we all knew this was a scam. I'm calling this elder abuse.
Why are you... Go ahead. Yes, finish your thoughts. You and your elder abuse. Go ahead.
I think this is elder abuse. You got under or on top of this very elderly, frail man. You got a baby. Now you are trying to file. It seems like a long-term fraud scam or something, like a PPP loan, but in baby form.
So in that 12 seconds, you done made that man decrepit, old, elder abuse, PPP.
You scroll that picture down and tell me that man don't look decrepit. Scroll it down. Look at that.
It's Al Pacino. That's Scarface, man. If we want to know how just go back and watch Scarface from 1982. If you want to know who this man is.
1982, and he was 31 when he did that movie. So like, I wasn't even born yet when Scarface came out. That's how old he is.
Yeah, what year were you born?
85.
Oh God, yeah, Scarface. So, and he always talk about men can still procreate. Obviously late in life. And when it's all said and done, when I saw this headline, I'm like, you were like, well, he's sickly looking. Then that's a good reason for her to file for custody or know that the custody is coming because whatever happens to Al, we don't know. Al
but here's all jokes aside
and all that, he's fine.
All jokes aside, apparently this is what people do in LA when you aren't married and you have a child. You have to establish paternity and be physical parent, and then he's the baby's father and he has to take a paternity test, and this is what you do. It just looks so bad. It just looks
and they talk
bad.
about California is such a rough state because everything is 50-50. That's another reason why a lot of entertainment people are moving out of California, moving into places like Texas and in Georgia and places like that, because the custody laws, divorce laws and stuff in California, they're going to take you for everything pretty much out there in California. And, when it's all said and done, when you look like this and she looks like that, But
what is the point? And I'm just saying, what is the point of a man Al Pacino's age getting with a girl that young? And don't say vagina, because he could have hired a prostitute and it would have been fine.
But if he hired a prostitute, y'all be talking about that. The man got himself a woman he want to be with. And
I was completely fine when Robert Kraft got caught in that bathhouse. I was like, he's old. This is what he's supposed to be doing.
God, no, I'm not good with that.
You go, Crafty. Crafty, do what you need to do in your windbreaker sweatsuit, and you go get your little massage and your handy, and then you go home. This seems dumb.
It is what it is. He for all we know, he started a relationship with her just to kind of hang out, and at that age,
who hangs out at that age? You hang out and watch Murder, She Wrote.
First of all, you know what I meant by hanging out. Stop it. So at that point, she got a gift, and she's going to cash in on that gift for the rest of her life. So all right, I told you this part of the segment was going to be really short because I don't want to talk about him no more. I want to talk about this situation that you put me on with these people. What is the name? The Joe Jonas situation. Is it Joe Jonas? Because there's three brothers, right? There's three brothers.
It's just the Jonas Brothers. It's the Jonas Brothers.
Three of them.
We'll call this white people's business. That's what we're going to call this segment of the show, white people's business.
So evidently,
yes.
Emily Ratajkowski says women who get divorced under 30 is chic, hints at Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner divorce. Here's the long and short of the story for me. Who is this woman right here with Jonas? Now, you told me that I should know her. Here's the thing.
Oh, my God.
I know who this is. I know who this is.
Okay. All right.
I know who. I don't know who this is. I know who this is. So you telling me this is the same woman from which one is it? Game of Thrones, or which one is it that we watch?
It's Game of Thrones, and it's Queen of the North, Sansa, Queen of the North.
And this old 50-something looking old woman is this 30-year-old that's right here.
The picture you don't like. The picture you don't like is actually from the Met Gala, where there was a theme that was, I want to say it was Joan of Arc or something like that. That is why she looks very goth and gaunt.
She looks
so
very
that's why
old.
She looks like that.
She looks very old. She
that's fine. Let's focus on the main topic.
So what's the main topic of this story? What's the main topic of this part of the story? Go ahead.
That Emily Ratajkowski needs to shut up and sit down because nobody asked you. Right. Let me tell you what I didn't appreciate. Joe Jonas and his wife are getting a divorce, and it's not a happy thing. It's not a fun thing. She has not been heard from since the divorce proceedings has gotten started. There's different rumors about her. He's not saying anything bad about her. He's just saying we just need to be divorced. Mm-hmm. So a lot can be interpreted from that. Mm-hmm. But for Emily Ratajkowski, and she put out a whole video basically saying, I think, it's so smart. Like, you get married in your 20s, and this is her real voice. You get married in your 20s, and then you figure out it's not what you want. And then by the time you get to your 30s, you know, you're still hot, and you can still have fun, and still have a good time and enjoy your life.
So let me just.
I've never wanted to reach through a computer and strangle somebody more than I wanted to strangle her.
In our last segment, when you were talking about Al Pacino, so here's the thing. It's
we gonna compare apples and spaceships?
No, we're not. We are actually. So here's the thing. The only difference between Al Pacino and Joe Jonas is that it's 50 years probably.
It's 50 years. What are you talking about?
But my point is that if both of these women, the woman who married Al Pacino and the woman who married Joe Jonas, decide, okay, I'm just gonna marry this dude for a short time. I'm gonna have a little good time. I'm gonna get myself some divorce, some money, and I'm gonna move on. If you 30, if you 80, you still married the wrong woman.
No, Al Pacino's girl's not even married to him. They're not even married. That's just his girlfriend he dated for a little while.
Her loins.
Joe Jonas
got that youngin.
Okay, Joe Jonas and his wife actually have been together since she was 18 because he's older than her. So they've been together from 18. She's now 27. So they've been together for almost 9 years, married for 4. They have 2 children together.
You're not gonna make me believe this woman is older than him.
She's younger than him. She's younger than him.
I mean, that she's younger than him.
She is. Stop. Go back to the other picture you like. Go to the picture you like. Go back to the picture that makes you happy.
Right.
She still looks old in that picture with the blonde?
She does not.
Okay.
But
stay on this page.
That's why I say this is not the same person. This cannot be the same person. This person looks like death. Anyway.
Focus. So even though Emily Ratajkowski made that comment, a lot of younger girls, we see this. A lot of them are getting divorced. We've seen a lot of divorce happen. People be married for 2 years, 1 year, 3 years. And they're just like, oh, it just didn't work out. We're just getting divorced. And to me and you, as both married people, I never thought that's how it worked. I kind of thought unless it's really...
You let like young people, a lot of young people tell now they ain't never getting married. So... I don't know, man. These people are weird. And when I get to my what, you'll see what I'm talking about.
But they're getting knocked up, which is weird. They're just like, it's easier to have a baby with him. So it's easy to be attached to him for the next 18 years, if not more, than getting married and divorce him. You're stupid. You're dumb. I don't like you. So yeah. But I don't know. I just don't want this to be a trend where getting divorced is chic. You know, marriage is work. It is a hard job, and you need to work at it, because if you get through the other side of it, marriage is wonderful. It's a wonderful, happy place to be. And just because, and then it makes me wonder with these celebrity girls, what happens? Is it because it's just not fun? He's not taking you out. It's because you can't do what you want to do. You got to ask the other person. What makes it, I don't want to do this anymore? How does that work?
The bottom line is that people are really selfish right now. People are extremely selfish. It is about them. And if you don't satisfy people's personal, it's like, all right, I'm gonna move on to somebody else who can satisfy what I need. It's crazy out here in these streets, and life in the world is more difficult than it's ever been to function. And now you got people saying, oh, it's chic, oh, it's fun to get married, get yourself some divorce settlements, get yourself, and Lord knows, I think there's a story with Steven Jackson, who used to play in the NBA. He didn't marry his fiance because she refused to sign the prenuptial. And I
love him telling that story. Have you heard him tell this story? I've never laughed so hard in my life. It was hilarious.
God. And to the point that he had just had a party. He just said, I didn't spend the money, so we just gonna still party, but I'm not marrying her.
And he slept with one of her bridesmaids.
Oh, I didn't hear that part.
Yeah, he slept with one of her bridesmaids that same night, who decided to go to the party.
Oh God. So,
by the way, one more part of that story. That girl actually ended up on the very first season of Basketball Wives, and wanted to tell everybody she was destitute and that she didn't know what she was going to do from day to day. That's because that breakup had just happened. And yeah, so that all makes sense now when you bring it back in full circle.
Man, this mess is crazy. All right, so can we go to How What? I'm ready. Can we go to How What?
Yeah, I'm ready for How What too. Let's do this. Right. Ooh.
All right, this is when we get these stories from these internet streets, and we look at them and we're like, oh, what? Did that really happen? Yeah, that really happened. All right, I'm going to do yours first, because mine, I think, will be a long conversation. What's your How What? You want to talk about the brick girl, and we're not going to repeat what you said about the brick girl, But what happened with the brick girl that brought more light to it? For people who don't know, last week we talked about this young lady who was all over the internet. She said she got hit in the face with a brick by some black man, and there was other black men around, and they didn't defend her. She was like, "That's why, blah, blah, blah. How y'all stand around and let that blah 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 blah." What's your extension of this story?
Well, the update is that people are apparently now saying that she arrived at the location with the swollen face. Like there was no brick incident that happened, that she arrived at the location. The young man who got in the car and said, "We saw her get hit with the brick," also another clout chaser and YouTuber who was just looking for attention, didn't see any of this. She just got out of the car with her face swollen. And this makes sense because for her to get hit in the face with the brick that hard, there was no laceration on her face. Her face was just swollen. If you and I got hit with a brick, it would be a scar or some kind of blood.
And once we started seeing more videos of this young lady, we were like, okay, she is actually a YouTuber or internet influencer trying to call herself to be. She's out there putting on skits, slapping people in the face, slapping white men in the face, something. This is for all of our oppression, smack, and thinking that mess is funny. That's why when I first saw this story, my first inclination was, okay, she might have tried that prank stuff with the wrong one, and that was part of the result. Once again, people out here in these streets for clout and for clicks and for likes, it's dangerous, man. It's mental. The mental health that of people right now in our society is crazy. It's getting worse. It's getting worse by the day.
Yeah, and then it went on because even then one of the nurses from the hospital she went to was just like, it looked like her face had fillers in it. It didn't look like anything. And the nurse was like, "Well, no, don't put me out. Don't put me out there." But when she sat in the room, it looked like she was waiting. From what they saw, it looks like she recorded that video.
Was it like bad?
Yeah, it was a bad injection, and it was looking.
I'm listening.
Well, no, she's also a nurse, and she injected herself. But what it looked like from the other nurses was that while she was given a gown to change, she did it herself. She injected herself, apparently.
Oh God, Jesus.
Anyway, do your what? Let's go.
All right, so Kia doesn't even know about this what, and she doesn't know about this story. So apparently, so there's a brother here in Atlanta. He's got a radio show that he does. He's actually a member of the Black Chamber. And so he posted a video on his page to kind of stir up some conversation. And for people who got, y'all gonna clutch your pearls for a second. And so this is a video of some girl driving on Interstate 75 North. And I know this because I drive this almost every day. This is a major merging situation. This girl got her leg wrapped on the top of the door, and she's twerking.
You're a geezer. You are a geezer.
No, whatever. So I just posted this fast as this generation is pathetic. Anything for IG and likes. It's 1,200 people have liked my comment. It is stirred up. All the different names and things that I've been called in the comments, and you're old and you probably, your wife probably don't give you none, and da 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 da. And I sat back and I said to myself, all I said was, this is crazy. If this girl hits a bump in the road, that car is going at least 30 miles per hour. She hit a bump in the road, she's dead or paralyzed. Period, point blank.
Okay, really quick. Florida originated this. This isn't new to me. I've seen this multiple times. If you go to Miami or Fort Lauderdale, this is what you see. Remember, was it 3 years ago?
Ignorant as hell. This is reckless as you know what, right? And so underneath my comment, there is God knows, it's if you guys, and then maybe I'll drop it in the comments if y'all want to go in and go check it out.
And let me tell you, I'm not saying it was safe or smart. Do you remember 3 years ago where the girl broke up with the guy, so he held on to her while she was driving to work, and people recorded it?
No, I don't remember that at all.
She drove all the way to work from under the hood 75 miles per hour. And people were calling the police like, yo, there's a man on this hood. And when they caught up to her, she was like, he didn't want to let go when I had to get to work.
This is crazy. And it's so wild because, the comments in these internet streets on, easy to mind your old business. You act like y'all was so good and y'all didn't have it. Y'all act like the video cameras and cameras were created with the internet. No, it doesn't matter. I wasn't that freaknik. I had no desire to be
That's a
around.
lie. Hey,
I was
y'all,
not
when the Freaknik documentary come out,
I was not at Freaknik. No. And I'm gonna tell you why. Part of the reason why I was at Freaknik because it was all the way in Atlanta, and I had no desire to drive all the way from VA to Atlanta. But
that's a 12-hour drive.
Right. We had our own Greek picnics and different things at Virginia Beach. So we had these type of activities, but you know what I mean? Me and my crew, we wasn't the type to be running around. Like if you want to run out and be in the streets with your ass out, you're not my kind of girl. New Edition. It just nah. You can you can go over there. But that's my hot word of the week. It's so crazy, man. And the way, man, you should have seen. Wait till you go in the comments and see. Boy, they was calling me. It was kind of funny. It was because the comments were so whack. They thought they was really burning me, but I was just laughing like y'all are pathetic.
You was on Neighborhood Talk? You was on Neighborhood Talk? Is that where you were?
No, I was not on Neighborhood Talk. But you have actually had me on more Neighborhood Talk than I would like to admit to. Because I'm like,
telling you, it's addictive.
Trash.
I got one more, huh? What? Why is Lionel Richie beefing with Diana Ross? For what?
Oh, let me put it back.
Why?
Lionel Richie is beefing with. Please tell me why. Yeah, tell me why Lionel Richie, 2 70-plus-year-old people are beefing at all publicly.
So Diana Ross actually got on stage with Beyonce in at her California concert because it's her birthday. So Diana Ross came out to sing "Happy Birthday." Lionel Richie saw it, was like, "I've invited Diana Ross on several stages, and she didn't want to come on my stages. So what's up with that?" I'm like, "Sir, it is not about you right now." And then it's kind of gone viral because it's like, Lionel Richie, why are you doing this?
Come on now. Now that's some old. That's some old. When I think of Lionel Richie, I think of Billy D. Williams. You know, you never know what happened with Lionel Richie and Diana Ross back in them days.
Now, as many people as we've heard that Diana Ross has slept with, I wouldn't be surprised if they slept together and it just didn't work out. Because now he's asking for a duet.
Why not? She ain't put nothing out in 40 years. Go ahead and put out a new song with Lionel Richie. Lionel Richie still hot in them streets. He got himself a man. Which one of them shows he on?
Oh no! American Idol. He's on American Idol.
He on American Idol, and he got about a 35-year-old wife or girlfriend or something. You know.
It's so gross.
Hey.
It's so gross.
Hey, you just hating. You just hating. All right. So anyway, that's our what stuff of the what's out here in these streets.
Oh wait, there was one last what? Brian McKnight is still a scumbag. There you go. what's over. Yay!
Oh, Jesus, Mary and Joseph. All right. So we got to get to this before we get up out of here. This Tyrese and DJ Envy stuff, man.
Oh, now we're in the main conversation. Let's relax and focus.
So let's set this up. DJ Envy, who we know is the co-host of The Breakfast Club with Charlamagne, because now that they don't know between Just Hilarious or whoever else, they don't know who they're gonna have regular. But it's right now DJ Envy.
They need to have Just Hilarious.
Just Hilarious.
Just Hilarious is good.
I love Just Hilarious. She is hilarious, and she's from the DMV from Baltimore. And I always find their accents funny, but she's hilarious. But anyway, DJ Envy.
She can't read either. They have to keep telling her what the word amid is. Amid a conversation. She's like, is it amid? Is it amid? I'm like, oh my God, girl, please stop. I know the Baltimore education system has failed you, but don't show that to the world.
Anyway. All right, read you in. All right, DJ Envy and Tyrese. I guess they've been, all of them got to go see the Breakfast Club. They got to go see DJ Envy. They got to go see Charlamagne the God. And evidently, DJ Envy and Tyrese had relationships. Now, here's what we know over the years. Tyrese has had some really public breakdowns, right?
Yeah.
And so what I didn't know, because I really don't pay attention to stuff to that degree, I guess when he was having his public breakdowns before, he said he was on some psych meds, right?
Yes.
And so that was part of it. And so part of the conversation went back on the show, and evidently during it, there was some disrespectful stuff that DJ Envy said to Tyrese. Well, let's see how much his video is here. Oh, video has no sound, and it's beautiful. I picked the wrong video. All right, so evidently, I remember DJ Envy saying to Tyrese to the effect, some of the stuff you said to my wife should have me boxing your mouth. I've never.
Box you in the mouth.
Box you in the mouth. That's something sound like something fake tough guys say. But when Tyrese basically came out and broke this down and said I was on these drugs or whatever, And Envy was like, I blocked you on my phone. I couldn't deal with you disrespecting my wife. Obviously, nobody can disrespect my wife. That's not acceptable. But if you know the guy had problems, how do you deal with it? But you said after the fact, I saw a little bit of it. Tyrese is putting out a video of his own on social media, but now he is, basically upset with the Breakfast Club because they didn't show him any compassion.
That is exactly what's going on. And
Mm-hmm.
I get where Tyrese's mindset is, but Tyrese, this is where you get in trouble, is where instead of voicing your opinion right there saying, hey, you guys aren't giving me compassion, I'm hurt, I made a mistake, and I'm not getting the compassion I needed for a bad place that I was in, you then get back online for what? Us, the public, to be your therapist and to hear your pain, and you cry and you get emotional, and we want you to be emotional, we want you to be open, but we need you to be open to the people that need to hear it. DJ Envy and Charlamagne the God needed to hear it. And let me just say something sideways. Can we stop making Charlamagne the God the mental health awareness guy? Because every time somebody goes on that show, he's a jerk to them. He's never.
I have disdain for Charlamagne the same way I had
I
disdain for
know.
Wendy Williams. And
I know.
he was trained by Wendy Williams. He is a shit starter. That's what he is. That's what he's built his career off of. Just like 50 Cent. Like in that moment, he was just throwing in red meat so that Envy and Tyrese could go back and forth instead of him trying to taper it. And a funny thing, I was listening to Jessa Laris in that moment, and she felt terrible. Like, okay, guys, like, come on, man, stop. Like, no. They aired this whole stuff, and once again, we're airing all this dirty laundry in public. I just don't understand why these public figures feel like that's just so important to do. It's handle that stuff behind closed doors.
I agree, and I get okay. I'm stuttering because I'm tired of DJ Envy trying to defend his wife. I'm tired of you hearing defend your wife. It's getting annoying now. I get you're trying to pretend to be, not pretend, or you are now the great husband. You cheated on your wife. You learned your lesson. Now I want to defend her to everybody. But it's getting to the point where we all hate her, and that's because of you. Like, we don't care. Like, it's crazy, and it's annoying that every time he has an issue, he gets to use his bully platform to voice his opinion out. Like, I feel like he's almost inviting people up there just so he can be like, I don't like you. You made me mad one day. Blah, blah, blah. Like, what is that?
It's so crazy, and that's a whole different thing about the business of radio, because DJ Envy has that platform because of, in my opinion, this is Miguel's opinion, because of someone he went to school with. Like, the young lady who runs programming for iHeartRadio, they went to Hampton together. There's nothing amazing about the way DJ Envy hosts the show.
No.
He's just sitting there. You know what I mean? He's just sitting there and getting in these conversations, and he's been blessed with this platform. And to your point, it's just one of them things where it's kind of like, it's so many people getting these huge platforms, and they're just so laissez-faire with it. They're so and now it's just, you can be really lazy about, just start some crap. If you start crap every day in the morning on your show, you're going to stay relevant. You're going to remain relevant. And it sucks.
And when you think about it, when it was him and Angela Yee and Charlamagne the God, it's a bunch of lame people who they just put together, and it just worked because it needed to work, not because it was like some spark about that show.
Yeah.
It just became the platform you had to go to be relevant in the hip hop industry. Angela Yee, she's probably a wonderful woman. She's probably as sweet as the days are long, but she is about as boring as watching paint dry.
Yeah.
There is even my mom, and Mama Blanche. Mama Blanche, I'm she's like, she's just, I don't like it. That's my mom response about it, but that was my response too.
With her doing whatever Angela Yee is doing now, I don't.
Lipstick service.
I've seen a couple clips, and it's just nothing about her is exciting. It's oh God. No, nothing about her is exciting. Nothing about her really it's
exciting, interesting, captivating, charming. None of it. And I'm sorry, maybe she's riding on the whole, I'm a mixed race girl, and I'm just kind of pretty and cute, and I can do this. But
there's plenty of pretty and cute mixed race. Claudia Jordan to me is one of the most talented voices and personalities out there. I remember she was Claudia Jordan, when she and Jamie Foxx were on SiriusXM, that show was hilarious.
No, I agree with you that I
Yeah.
do believe Claudia Jordan is good. I don't like her on the Fox Soul. I'm not a fan of her on Fox Soul.
Yeah,
It's a little stuttery for me.
well, yeah. Well, I've recently just got YouTube, and we got YouTube TV, and we got Fox Soul, and I've caught a couple of shows. Not her show, but I get it. But there are just so many people. There's so many shows that are really really good, and the Breakfast Club to me is just like, you know what I mean? The best thing about it is that they get every interview.
They
You
do.
cannot do anything in black culture without going and sitting at their desk. And so
Absolutely.
it keeps them relevant. There's nothing amazing about their interviews. Charlemagne is just stirring up crap. DJ Envy has got to the point now because he was just beefing with Rick Ross, 90 days ago. That was the whole thing, him and Rick
Yes.
Ross, and they were beefing.
And the car show.
And the car show stuff. And I'm just like, dude, you've been doing this show for how long? All of a sudden now you the dude who want to get in the middle of every beef. It's whack to me. I'm just like, man, and I've never, just like the way I talk about how I know the cadence of a Steve Harvey show, I don't know how the cadence of the Breakfast. I've never just sat down and listened to the Breakfast Club.
You know who's a huge fan of the Breakfast Club? Mama
Who?
Blanche.
Really?
Exactly. Your face was my face. And she was like, ooh, we were driving to Atlanta. When we were coming to Atlanta the last time I saw you, she was like, we had to listen to the Breakfast Club. I'm like,
why?
Why do you want to listen to that?
Because I know the music that they play is not her cup of tea as far as the music that they play.
She turns the volume down on the music and then turns it back up when they go back to talking.
Tell her just catch it on YouTube because I know she ain't trying to listen to The Baby and Da Baby and Cardi B, which is everything that they're playing. So anyway, all right. Before we get up out of here, what else you got on your mind before we get up out of here?
Let me check my list of stuff because I feel like Alexis. And by the
store?
way, intern Alexis, thank you for posting. When we want to talk about the girl who got the face of the brick, you posted a pile of bricks in our production story where we were very confused about
like,
why is there a pile of bricks here in this
what
story.
What is the story here that you had about Drew Sidora? I don't do the reality show, so. Yeah,
well, I still feel like we should do it because again, I'm a step parent. Your wife is a step parent. So Drew Sidora is on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. She's on there with her husband, soon to be ex-husband. They have he has a cousin Courtney, who's actually not his real cousin. I think it's his side chick, whatever. But he actually said that she was trying to quote unquote force him to adopt her son so that she could get extra money in child support. And he then on the second side of his mouth said, I love him. He's my son. And it's like, well, sir, what is it? Is he your son that you've taken responsibility for since he was 3 because his father's in jail? Or is it a money grab? What's the deal? It just makes it look so bad for step parents like me.
And we both have blended families, right? And so
yes.
When I look at these type of stories, it's always tough to really dig into them because yes, if he took on the responsibility of being the father figure for that child,
from 3 years old, that kid's now 11.
Okay, I get it. And that's just once again, it comes back to, man, be careful who you marry, be careful who you get involved with, right? Because when it's all said and done, now you're divorcing, and you got a situation where a child that you've helped raise from the time they were 3 years old, now you got to deal with that separation. And now on top of that, instead of her saying, you know what, you took on this responsibility of raising my child that was not your child, she's gonna make bad worse by saying, okay, now, and oh, by the way, I want child support for this child as well. That to me really hurts the relationship between him and this child unnecessarily.
Yeah,
you know what
that's
I mean? Just let him love that child and know that if he put all that effort and energy and love into that child, he gonna help take care of that child regardless. You was never gonna have a problem calling him up and saying, I need this, I need that, whatever. Now you're making a public spectacle of it because right? And instead of dealing with it once again between the two of you, and now it's a mess. These people,
and that's her beef. That's her whole thing. She's like, you're making a public spectacle about the boy's name is Jojo.
Who's making this public? Is it him or her?
It's him. Him and the quote unquote cousin are the ones putting it out there. Oh, she just wants child support. She never really wanted him to adopt him. She just wants child support. And everybody else who's on the show is all like, what are y'all talking about?
That's always your annoying person voice.
It's my annoying
Jesus.
The sad thing is, the girl Courtney, the cousin who's putting this out there, she sounds just like that. If Tracy is watching the show, she'll say that that's how she sounds. But it's just very sad that this is going through this. And also the fact that step parents,
Mm-hmm.
when they divorce a spouse, they divorce the children as well. And I
It
don't think
sucks.
anybody ever notices that. And it sucks because I'm even
sucks.
noticing that. And I know another show you don't watch, Sister Wives. The man of the show, Cody, listeners may know who this is. He's divorcing wives because the wives are like, we're unhappy, we're leaving. He's also divorcing his kids. He's just like, oh, well, if the kids want to be with you, then I don't need to be with them anymore. And those are his blood children. Like, when you get divorced, you don't divorce your children. You just divorce your spouse.
Yeah, that will
crazy.
that will never rock with me.
No.
It is what it is. All right, so one story we didn't get a chance to talk about today, and we're gonna talk about it now because we did start late, so we got a couple of minutes.
What's that? No, no. I'm not talking about this for several reasons.
Why?
Okay, reason number one, they are now playing the audio of his mother in Portuguese telling him to come home and surrender himself over PAs over helicopters. This man he's still gone. He was not captured. He's still gone. He escaped.
Here's the story. This is the man is in Pennsylvania. What you're looking at on the right, the man on the left is the man. The video on the right is him and how he basically scaled the wall. Now, this guy can't be 5'8", right? So wherever this prison is, he just basically scaled the wall by putting his feet and his hands up and walking up, and somehow, I don't know what's on the other side, and got on the other side of the wall. They've been looking for him now for probably a week and a half, 2 weeks. Let me see. He escaped on August 31st.
It's been going on for 12 days. 12 days.
Today is 9/11. And so this man has escaped, and businesses have been shut down. People have not been open because they don't know where this guy is. He is a murderer. And it's sad. It's crazy. I don't know. It's tough to see, how this is. But tell me again about this part about, I missed that about his mother. What is this about? Peas and helicopters? What?
So his mother wants him to be captured because she doesn't want something bad to happen, like most moms would do. So they are playing an audio of her through the PA system on helicopters, basically telling him in Portuguese, because
got it.
To turn yourself in. Okay. His sister was arrested. I think she tried to help him at some point. So now his sister got arrested by ICE and she's facing deportation. This is not a small incident where ICE can go, listen, you made a mistake.
No,
you are helping a convicted murderer.
Yeah. So
you are going to jail. And I feel bad for the mom because now you've got a daughter who's getting deported. You got a son who's out here wilding, and there's nothing you can do. And he's actually been seen on a Ring doorbell cam in Phoenixville because he has not left Pennsylvania. There's no way he can leave. So he's kind of just wandering around trying to contact old coworkers, old people he remembers to see if they can help him. And nobody is going to help him. He's just been caught on several Ring cameras. He shaved his beard and he's trimmed his eyebrows to try to make him look different. But that only does so much.
Right.
He's just out there.
Well, for people in Pennsylvania, get a good look at his eyes. He's still out there. He's armed. Well, he's dangerous. We don't know if he's armed.
He's dangerous.
We know he's dangerous because I believe he killed his I think his wife or his girlfriend.
He killed his longtime girlfriend.
Yeah. And so this guy still, I guess, somewhere in the state of Pennsylvania, hiding and trying to find ways to get wherever he's trying to go. So be safe out there in the streets.
And also, really quick before we get off, all you amateur police helpers, please stop. The police don't appreciate it. Y'all out here with drones and guns, and it's getting real. It's getting real. Vigilante out there. Y'all don't help them try to find this guy. Somebody could get seriously injured or hurt. So stop.
Yeah. No, it's real. It's real. We continue to live in a more dangerous world every day. There's a story I wasn't comfortable talking about today because I heard about it like right before I came on the show. But there's a situation in Pennsylvania and Philly where cops claim that somebody got out of the car and he couldn't be handled and they shot him. And then the video came out from neighborhood cameras. They shot the guy with the window up, came up within 5 seconds, and the whole thing is like, now the media, the whole video I saw started off with CNN basically telling the story about how he got out of the car and he was whatever, and that wasn't the case. A lot of these stories are getting pushed under the rug now. I really believe that the media, as we know, mainstream media, as the right-wing folks would say, but they are in cahoots with the whole process of what stories were being told and what gets us excited because they don't want what happened 3 years ago. with Black Lives Matter and people protesting and all of that. They feel like we're back to normal, and these type of stories are still happening. So we'll keep an eye on that. All right, y'all.
Yeah.
We appreciate y'all hanging with us today as always. Peace and a bye-bye. We'll catch y'all next week.